Good afternoon, everyone. It is Friday, March 18th. We're here with our weekly climate dispatch, joined in this incredibly busy week by our Lauren Hierl, my colleague at Vermont Conservation Voters, per usual, and our fantastic colleague, Ben Edgerly Walsh of VPIRG. It has been a crazy week, and we're going to be incredibly brief because it's been an intense week for many of us. It's also been an intense week for legislators who excitingly have been working incredibly hard at the end of this crossover week for money bills. So scurrying to get those bills into the other chamber by the end of the day today. So Ben's going to give you a brief overview, a couple of those bills that have dollars connected to them and a status report on them. But the long and the short of it is there is really excitingly climate progress this week, and climate progress related to environmental justice as well, with money being appropriated, we hope, and are working to secure for the environmental justice bill. So massive progress this week, and a lot more to do in the Senate to make sure that the bills that have advanced are strengthened and we deliver climate accountable, equitable progress. So Ben, take it away really briefly, because next week we're bringing excitingly the co-chairs of the Climate Solutions Caucus, Senator Chris Pearson and Representative Sarah Copeland-Hanzas, to go much more deeply into what is happening on all of these big bills. So Ben, quick high-level overview. What's the progress been? And thanks.
Absolutely. So this has been an incredibly big week on climate. I think arguably, perhaps inarguably, one of the biggest weeks, certainly in the last decade, in the legislature on climate action. All of these things have to keep on going through the legislative process. Nothing is headed to the governor's desk yet, but a lot of really exciting action happening. First and foremost, the Clean Heat Standard, as you probably saw from all of our organizations and email, passed the House floor 96-44, an overwhelming vote in favor of that incredibly important policy to get our thermal sector emissions on track in line with the Solutions Act requirements. That's headed to the Senate. The House also passed $48 million in funding for municipal energy efficiency and resilience. That is on its way to the Senate as well. It's going to enable weatherization, heat pumps, and other good work in municipal buildings around the state. The House is also working on a 703, a workforce development bill, which expands far beyond climate, but absolutely would ensure investments in the climate workforce as we try to scale up on all of these new energy technologies. Over in the Senate, the environmental justice bill, S-148, is up for a vote today in Senate appropriations. We have no reason to believe that it won't pass out of there. And we are looking forward to seeing that on the Senate floor next week, and then over to the House. And then in the budget and the transportation bill, there's a whole lot at play. I won't get into all of the nuance, but it's $100 million for $100 million for residential, low and moderate income weatherization and electrification. Over $40 million for electric vehicle and efficient vehicle incentives, and electric vehicle charging infrastructure. Almost all of that that I just described has already given the sort of preliminary approval in House appropriations. There's still actually just in a few minutes at 1 o'clock going to be talking about some of the electric vehicle charging investments and deciding at what level to fund those in the budget. But all in all, a lot of really, really important climate action that is going to, at long last, begin to set us up to actually hit our climate action targets in Vermont. And we really, I know you hear this from organizations a lot, but this would not happen, full stop, without your work to make it possible, your conversations with your legislators, your conversations in your communities, stressing the importance of actually finally acting on the climate crisis and getting us off of fossil fuels. So thank you so much for everything that you have done to get us this far. And we are deeply looking forward to working with you to get all of these things across the finish line this year.
Yes, well put, Ben. And thanks to both of you, Ben and Joey, who've been working really hard this week, as have our legislators. And As Ben said, we know that there's been so many calls and emails going into legislators, and it's made a huge difference. And it's just been great to see how the Global Warming Solutions Act that we all had worked so hard to get enacted has really shaped the conversation, as we need to act and we need to make choices and put real resources and move the policies that are part of our climate action plan. And that's what we saw with the votes this week, which is really exciting and just foundational to the work ahead of us. So thank you for all of that. We will, as Joey said, be back next week. We can go into more detail and where some of these last moving pieces are. But we always like to end these with the call to action. And so this week, we in particular, we're hoping that you could take a moment to reach out, call or email your representatives and thank them for supporting the clean heat standard and for supporting bold climate action. That this is such a cornerstone policy of the climate action plan and was a big vote. And so just acknowledging that and people's support and leadership on that is really, really important, and give them some love. So thank you all. We'll be back next week. Have a great weekend. Thanks again for all you've been doing, and let's keep it up. Take care.